That's the sweet sound of frigid air to help us make it through this Texas heat. But if you experience issues with your AC and are sweating inside of your own home, you need an honest and locally owned company to make those repairs. Now, I know of a place which is not only locally owned, but veteran owned too. Honest AC and Plumbing prides themselves on their handshakes and their quality of work. If you live in North Austin or in any of these northern suburbs of the ATX, give the boys at Honest a shout. Be sure to tell Floyd, Will, David, and the staff you're a loyal Stories Inside the MANSCAPED podcast viewer and follower.
Man, how lucky are we to be in this stadium and doing this? I know everything that I love and everything that y'all love. Appreciate y'all. We have some incredible memories as a family in this stadium, and got to win 2 state championships in 13 and 14, and then played in the Big 12 championship in 19, so just a special place.
I love it. You already feel the energy. Joey Maguire, I knew it. Hit that energy that we saw when he was the Cedar Hill Longhorns high school, the high school football coach for Cedar Hill. Long way of putting it there. Type of energy he brought, delivered, and what a lot of people know about Joey Maguire and what he brought to the table at Baylor University on that football program. It's something that's going to be infectious, and it's going to bring a lot of energy to that Texas Tech football program. Joey Maguire, awesome. His first Big 12 Media Days appearance, obviously first-year head coach at Texas Tech. So expect some things, as I mentioned in last night's episode, not overnight success in Lubbock, but I do feel that he will instill some energy and infuse some confidence, because when you have good energy and a good environment and accountability, you want to run through a wall for your leader when they're like that. And when they show you the way and you develop positivity in your environment, that is how success occurs in everything we do when you have good leadership like that. So Big 12 football media days wrapped up. I am Sean Clinch, your host. And of course, this episode, if you cannot tell right here, we have a host of family, whatever you want to call it, of sponsorship family, that is. We're all proud of them. You see all of them in the rectangle above me on the left of the screen, but this one sponsored by Honest AC and Plumbing. You'll see it all over this episode. They are honestly the newest sponsor, and they are located in a town just north of Austin in Hutto, but they serve all the northern suburbs, as you heard in that advertisement. And they are good men, veteran-owned, and they are really truly honest and loyal, and they will get the job done for you. Honest AC and Plumbing, we need it. A lot of people having problems right now because we are on well over 24 days of triple-digit heat. So give them guys a call if you live in the Austin area, to North Austin and to the north to Georgetown. Okay, so tonight, as we wrap up, there were some fun moments to wrap it up, because it was the day Texas and Oklahoma were paired on day 2. They usually do that to keep the two crowded. They like to have Texas and Oklahoma. There have been some years in which Texas and OU went on separate days, but there's just a lot of interest when there's a lot more people that attend Big 12 Media Days when Texas and OU are on the same day. It's a noticeable difference. But Brent Venables it's his first Big 12 Media Days as a head football coach, taking over for Bob Stoops and Lincoln Riley. Of course, he coached under Bob Stoops. Then he went to Clemson, was a co-head coach and defensive coordinator for over there. So for Dabo Swinney, did a great job, won a national championship, and it did amazing things there at Clemson. Well, it was just in my opinion, was a no-brainer that Oklahoma hire, Brent Venables. I had the pleasure of covering Coach Venables when I was in Oklahoma City. I love the guy, brings a level of intensity, great answers. They were organic. The intensity was always there, great energy, and that chiseled jawline. He just spoke with intention, and really, he was a guy that played for Bill Snyder at Kansas State, and really, he just coached like he played, and he could convey the message, and it brought a level of intensity or expectation. Well, today he got a little excited, and some hand gestures were made, and I knew what he meant, but see it for yourself, as he was just raving and ranting about, the OU brand of football that he is bringing, and just see it for yourself. Here is Brent Venables, his first press conference as the OU head football coach.
Really fortunate to be around a lot of great people, tremendous football players that have helped me get here to this moment, and I couldn't be more excited. But it's been just like you would expect. The fire hose is fully inserted in my mouth here, and we've been blowing and going, and so I'm really excited to get back with the team now.
You saw it. There's already, you can imagine on the Twitterverse, it's already happening. Memes with the fire hose up to his mouth. You knew it was going to happen. Twitter did its thing today, as did TikTok. You saw it. But I knew what he meant. It's kind of like me, when I changed careers and it changed to another job. I'm still doing it. Drinking from a fire hose. That's what Brent Venables is doing. But he mentions all his former players that he coached at Oklahoma. All his former players, they all supported him. Teddy Lehman, name one, who's in the broadcasting side of things up in Norman. I think he's the color guy with Toby Rowland for the OU football broadcast. Everyone, all those old school, Dusty Dvorak, they supported him. Gabe Eichert, a former offensive lineman for Oklahoma, All-American. All his former players, Nick Harris, just Travis Lewis, you go down the list, man. All the guys love him. Natural fit. So he was not only invited, but welcomed with open arms. Whatever OU is lacking, I really don't know, because I'm trying to get the vibe, what it is in Norman. I know that they have the transfer in Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback. They always find a good way to get a good quarterback if it's either by transfer. They have a good track record. Lincoln Riley, offensive wizard. Now you have Levy, who is the offensive coordinator. I think he's going to do phenomenal things. He went from Baylor, I think Ole Miss. Phenomenal offensive mind. Oklahoma, I know Baylor is favored, but Oklahoma and Kansas State are my two teams who I can't believe I'm using this term, because Oklahoma's won pretty much all the Big 12 championships. The second most is Baylor, and I believe they have 3 Big 12 championships. Texas, obviously, 96, 05, and 09, and that's it. It's right there. So Oklahoma, majority of the Big 12 championships. But the vibe in Norman, defense should be pretty good. They're going to need to develop some guys, as Venables mentioned. One thing about Venables that I loved and was a headache for me at the same time being in the media when I was up there, he would give you 10-minute answers, 5 to 10-minute responses. Loved it. But when you went back to the station or you worked on your laptop to create a story, what we called a package, then sifting through all that soundbite gold that he would deliver. Soundbite gold as in not just coach speak, but a profound, give you the analysis from a coach's point of view, but 5 to 10 minutes of it for one response. And he's trying to sift through all that and pick 3, 4, 5, 6 to 15-second responses and use those in a story. That was a headache, but man, it was I enjoyed it. I think OU is good for 9 wins this year, and who's to say that they may be one of those teams that does this throughout the year, gets better every week. We'll find out. I mean, it's with the transfer quarterback, it's hard but it's not saying that Dylan Gabriel cannot improve. as they get improved throughout the season. So Brent Venables era underway. Longhorns, Texas Longhorns, Sarkisian, second Big 12 Media Days. An interesting, another person, Sark is really good about being fairly transparent without divulging too much information, but he does it in a way to be respectful to the media, has a great relation. He's just a good person and wants to talk to the media and tell the stories. But he just, he rides on, he's on the fence, kind of trying to avoid being too negative, but he does it in a way that's tactful and really does. He gives you some nuggets if you really, really listen to how Steve Sarkisian delivers his responses. But he was asked a question today, and it was kind of self-reflection, looking inward on what maybe he would have done differently in that 5-7 disaster, because Texas was 4-1 at one point. Obviously, we all know what happened against Oklahoma. Texas had a significant lead. And in that second half, Texas blew it. Casey Thompson was hurt. That was a factor. But here's what Sark had to say, and I really did enjoy this response because there was some introspectiveness, if you will, going on in this response from Sark, looking back on maybe what he would have changed in last season, his first year as the Longhorns head football coach.
I didn't think I did a great job a year ago of developing the team and the quality of team and the bond on our team as well as I would have liked. And granted, we had some difficult circumstances with, not having a facility done yet and being kind of in temporary housing, to just not making a great connection, to ultimately not identifying the leadership in a really good way. And so it's been a huge point of emphasis of ours in January all the way through now, of bonding as a team and becoming accountable to one another and relying on one another, and being really transparent, open, and honest, and sharing with one another so you can really get to know your teammates. Because I think in this day and age, most of these guys, when they have a free moment, they get on their phone and they text, or they get on Instagram or Twitter or whatever social media, and they don't talk to one another.
Facts. And it's not just kids. There are people my age. That's the era we live in. But I like that. He not only did he evaluate his coaching staff, not only did Sark evaluate his players and looking ahead 2-3 years from now and looking at COVID year eligibility players, or he really truly evaluated. And I would assume that in those meetings with the players, that I think certain players who have transferred, entered the portal, or are not here in Austin, or have either made a decision to just simply leave, they were good conversations, truly professional. Hey, this is where we are. This is Sark's plan. He probably delivered in a manner to be respectful. This is what we see. This is what companies do. And he runs it that way. And this is where I see you, and just being upfront and honest. And I think he did that with himself, changed a few intricacies of the program, but it's a reason why there's going to be over almost 40 new faces on that roster this season, because he probably had those tough conversations with those players who didn't mesh. He pointed to that. He said it, alluded to it. Leadership issues, creating more bonds. And it's hard in this environment of this. You can't just blame this younger generation when you have these and all the apps. And it is the look at me generation. It's not the kid's fault. It's what we created. And that's what these coaches have to deal with. So Sark really identified some issues moving forward. It's kind of like Mac Brown in 03, 04, 05. He identified during Vince Young that he needed to relate to the players more, communicate with them, get to know them, why they like certain music, why they like certain things, and really vibe with them and mesh with them. And that's what I think Sarkisian kind of did there is reevaluate moving forward. And I love that response there. Hey, by the way, as we move forward, go ahead and, if you can, either right now or when this episode is completed, visit our social media pages on TikTok, Twitter. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube right now, like, follow, subscribe, and then go to the Instagram page and follow that as well. I would appreciate it. And you are appreciated, in case you were not aware. I know some of you have reached out, man, and I really appreciate it. And especially on these episodes when I'm solo, appreciate you guys following along. But yeah, this is a fun time. But as for Texas, I'm looking at an 8-4 season for the Longhorns. With that many faces, there's a ton of talent on that roster now. But I think with all this staff, I think regardless, even during the losses, you'll see marked improvement due to work ethic. Up in Fort Worth, the Sonny Dykes era underway. Now, this is a guy, obviously those of you who are my age, a little younger, really loved his dad, his late father, the great Spike Dykes. Just a legend in himself, finished later in his days of retirement, Horseshoe Bay area where so many coaches live their retired life. Spike was a wonderful guy, coined a lot of phrases, spent some time in Austin on at UT, but what he did at Texas Tech, he developed a niche there. And Zach Thomas, the name son, there's so many guys, but everybody wanted to play for that guy, and they played hard for Spike Dykes. But his son, Sonny Dykes, obviously as a head coach, went to Cal, wasn't what he thought it would be. And of course, what he did at SMU, Shane Buechele. Sonny Dykes is just a guy. You'll listen to him here in a minute. Just a great demeanor. You see a lot of his dad in Sonny Dykes, and Sonny Dykes just a good person, and he's going to do a great job. I don't know how he'll do in his first season, but he was asked about recruiting for TCU in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then what he thought about what his dad would think about him being the head coach at TCU.
We've got the best talent base in the country to recruit from. I truly believe that. We can get those kids on our campus. We can get to know them better. We can build relationships. And really recruiting is about that. It's about building relationships, and it's about establishing trust. I think he would have got a kick out of it. It certainly would have been easier for him to get up here than it was going to get to Berkeley. That was a tough travel for him. But at the end of the day, I know he's looking down and excited about this opportunity, and certainly gets a kick out of it.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, Spike Dykes looking down, very proud of his son. And Spike was an interesting guy in the most positive way possible. Just made he would run a room, own the room, just a sense of humor. By the way, Spike, Stephen F. Austin guy, Axe 'em Jacks, baby. Sonny, he will do some things, and I don't know to what level and what the timetable is, but Sonny will win at TCU, especially in the new Big 12. TCU, Gary Patterson did amazing things with that program, really identified athletes and projected them, flipped. It was fun watching. He would get a lot of East Texas kids with a ton of speed, spin them down from DBs and convert them to linebackers. Sonny will probably, more than likely, that spread offense, really developing quarterbacks. It will be interesting to see what he does there. And I would venture to say that transfer for quarterback from Oklahoma, he will, let's just say this, Sonny will have a quarterback. He could take a walk-on quarterback and develop them into a pretty average at best, at the very least, type quarterback. That's what we'll see at TCU. So on that note, we got to transfer over to a special segment. Yeah, you know what time it is. Manscaping in the Man Cave. We got to give a shout out to our guys at manscaped.com as they do wonderful things. They do wonderful things for men because we all know women have all their daily care products, but men, we need to take care of ourselves too. And by the way, manscaped.com, they have not only do they provide good products, they have a great initiative on testicular cancer. You know, we got to, you know how women have to do the self-exam for breast cancer. And because I learned this through my ex-wife who, while we were married, dealt with and beat breast cancer twice. Way to go, Allison. She is a warrior, if you will. But I learned all that about breast cancer and the self-exam. Well, we've got to do the same for our testiculars, if you will. Manscaped.com is all about that. And promoting and being proactive as men to do that. I would encourage it. And also I would encourage off topic, prostate health. I will soon have a promo about that to promote prostate health. I had a scare for the past year and a half, had to go through all this ton of tests, procedures, whatnot, but I'm good. Right now we're good. And that's all I can do, but I encourage you, just get your PSA checked. But back to manscaped.com. Here's the latest and greatest, the Ultra Smooth package, shaving care for down there. You know, got to take care of it, man. And, you know, if your significant other, man, just take a little time out of your day getting ready. Once or twice a week, that's all it is. Get in the shower. You know, scrub it. Scrub those balls with the crop exfoliator right here. Then lube it up right here with the crop gel and this little bitty guy. We don't need these big razors. You need little razors, you know, just like a pube lawnmower. That's what we like it. So go to manscaped.com. Promise you, you will not be disappointed. And I'm trying to figure out which episode is going to produce the most manscaped.com orders. Use ManCave20 for your promo code once you're on manscaped.com, and you will get 20% off. Compliments of stories inside the Man Cave podcast, and they're great products. You don't have to get the Ultra Smooth package. It's just the latest and greatest package. I like it a lot, especially that crop gel. Makes things much easier. No nicks, those cuts can be a little painful at first, but with that, I personally don't experience those anymore, and it just leaves you feeling fresh. And with the products, it's an aroma that is similar to pheromones and sweet mahogany. So that's a wrap on episode 157. Big 12 Football Media Days we're putting a wrap on that. Now it's on to August camp coming up very soon. Cannot wait. And just a reminder, go check out on our social media pages. Have a special feature story on Oscar Rodriguez. Is a sales director for the Round Rock Express, the AAA baseball team for the Texas Rangers, obviously up the road in Round Rock from Austin. The guy has taken quite a journey and path. Played baseball his whole life. Then very smart young man, and now on the side for since it's Major League Baseball All-Star Weekend, he is the interpreter for those from Latin America who are playing in the Futures game, the interpreter for those men to help tell their great stories. So go check out that story on Oscar Rodriguez. On that note, I'm Sean Clinch. Have a great evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time of day it is. And much love to you for being so faithful and watching each of these episodes and sharing, liking, and reaching out to me, whether by text, private message, whatever you do, man. I appreciate it. You have no idea, because to me, this is not only a hobby, I just love it. You know, obviously my background in the media is carried over to here. I'm doing other great things right now as a career, but I love doing this, especially for you. So for the OG Man Cave boys, that being Coach Mo, Hardball Hard, and Big Mike, we are out.